Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Open Tech seminar hosted by LevelUp. We are delighted to have Ms. Yoshita Sharma with us today. She's an industry professional with valuable experience and practical insights into tech world. Her journey and perspective makes today's session truly meaningful for all of us. So let's warmly welcome.
So, hi everyone. I'm Yoshita Sharma. Today, I am going to talk a little bit about no code, low code, and AI tools and how you can build faster and ship smarter. Something about me a little bit. I am Yoshita Sharma. I work at Microsoft. I'm a technical program manager. I have been working as a tech professional for the past 8 years. Did my bachelor's, did my master's in the US here, and then that's how my journey continued. And over the years, my exposure to AI has been in different capacities, whether through storage, whether through infrastructure, and in the recent times through these amazing AI tools that have been, coming in the market, and like literally creating a storm. I blink my eye, and every time there's a new tool. So, but we'll talk about some tools today here. Now, why this matters to you is because when I was in my second and third year, I spent weeks building basic CRUD apps. It's especially relevant for US students because you're about to enter a job market where knowing how to use AI and automation tools is just as important as coding skills. So today you can build and deploy that in 30 minutes. And this isn't about replacing programming, it's about just being 10 times more productive. You can ship hackathon projects, it's important for problem solving. Startup ideas can be validated in production. As a as a technical program manager, it helps speed up my work through RAG-based tools, through tools like Copilot. Because I work at Microsoft, I mostly use Copilot agents to summarize the information that I need, and sometimes GitHub Copilot for some code-related work. And where does each tool fit, right? If you think of the spectrum of these AI tools is large. There's no code tools like Webflow, Bubble, Airtable, V0, Bolt, Cursor, which where you're just building without writing codes. And I don't really like the term vibe coding, but that's what it's called popularly. Low code tools are tools like where you have visual builders plus custom code, and you can do automation, you can do data sync. You must have heard a lot about N8N, Zapier, Retool, so on and so forth, right? And then Webflow, Bubble, Airtable, you can build MVPs, landing pages, internal tools, you can have Figma, etc. And then a subset of that is the tools that I mentioned, like the AI augmented coding, right? The Bolt, Cursor, Claude, and V0 Dev tools. So we'll explore a couple of these tools and some more in today's session. So let's see, what are we building today? I would like to explore and just take you through a couple of tools and some trials and some tests that I have done on my end using all these tools. So to begin with, we have one demo for V0. I'll show you a bit of Bolt as well. For AI filmmaking, there are multiple tools like Kriya, Kling, or even I like Google VO is very popular. I personally like Adobe Firefly as well, and I'll show you some stuff about that. And then Google Opal is to build agents, and just like N8N, but Google Opal and LangChain do give you the flexibility of just creating agents by prompts, right? So that's what we're going to do today. All right, and let's begin with Google Opal. So if you see my screen here, the short demo, I'll like just explain you a little bit and then show you the real screen. I just tried to create an app or an agent to help me research any topic that I type, right? So now how's that happening? I will just show you with a demo, right? Actually, instead of Google Opal, let's first cover V0 because that was my first category. So we'll cover V0 first. So now if you can see my V0 screen here, what I'm going to do is just, you see my prompt here and you see my screen here. I have literally put in a prompt. You can build prompts with any tools. You can use Claude, you can use ChatGPT, anything, and just tell them that, hey, ChatGPT, I want to build this tool. Can you help me generate prompts that I can use for low code tools or augmented coding? And it says build a Pomodoro study timer app. You all know the Pomodoro technique. You study for 25 minutes and then you take a break for 5 minutes and so on and so forth, right? So 25 minutes work time and 5-minute break timer. Use clean, minimal design with a large circular progress indicator. You want start, pause, and reset buttons. You want to track the number of completed pomodoros. You want to use calming blue and white colors. You want to add subtle animations when the timer completes, and then you want to make it mobile responsive, right? So we can also add one more thing here. I had a little bit in just for timeliness sake here. I'm just gonna put say that add an alarm once the 25-minute period ends, right? So let's see what it comes up with. It is building. FYI, the last time I tried this, it gave me, what it does is it basically goes through this entire process of building a tool. You can see that it's going through it's explaining you the step-by-step process as well as it's updated certain theme colors, layout, metadata, etc., etc. Now if you want to see the visual, you can also see the code that is involved here, by the way. And this is the case in many tools. It's in Bolt, it's in V0 as well. You can see the hooks used, you can see the libraries used, you can see this application is based on TypeScript and JSON. There are tools where you can use and actually like Replit, where you can actually select which is the tech stack you want. There's an option there as well. But just if you really are not very particular about the tech stack you want to use, you can just give a prompt and let it build with CSS and TypeScript, which most of the tools choose by default. And this is how the Pomodoro timer looked the first time I tried it. Let's see how it comes up here. I don't know why it says preview not supported. Oh, because it is still building it, right? It will have to take a couple of minutes to build this. Of course, I'm not going to be able to wait for 25 minutes and show you whether it's working or not. And as in whether the 25-minute period is over and the timer rings or not. You can definitely use this prompt and try it on your end. And if there's any bug, you just again enter a prompt saying that, hey, this exact feature is not working. How do we fix it? I'll show you an example of that on Bolt in a minute once we are done generating this. And because that's the point of like low code and no code tools, to be able to fix bugs. If you're a coder, I have been a coder, so I have the tendency of going into the code and reading things and seeing where I can fix it in a traditional way. But it's easier to do it the AI way, provided you know the exact prompts to write. And the more accurate prompt, the more accurately you write it and the more precisely you write it, the better result you will get. And as I said, I'll give you an example of it with Bolt in a minute. Actually, while this is getting ready, let me just take you to Bolt and show you what I mean. Now on Bolt, this is a task manager, which I was trying as a demo as one of the classes that I took, right? If you see this, let me log out. Okay, this is a creative task manager. You organize your tasks, you boost your productivity, achieve your goals. Now, how did we build this? This was simply made by a prompt that create a task manager, which allows me to manage my tasks. It was as simple as that, and it created a very simple interface. And then you can build it from there. Now, initially, if I show you how this app looked, it looked like it was very bluish, like the entire screen was blue. I did not like the UI at all. So what did I do? If you see this image, I took this from the internet. I just liked the way this layout is. This is like fixing a bug, or this is modifying what you need, right? I took this and I took a screenshot of it and I went to Bolt and I gave a prompt. I said I would like my page to have a similar color scheme and font style as in the attached image. And once it did its processing, this is the look that I got. Not only did it change the look of the dashboard, it changed the look of everything, all the pages under it as well. And I'll give you an example of that. If I say login, it has my credentials stored in the backend database. Bolt now uses, FYI, it uses its own built-in database. That's the beauty of it. Most of the AI tools are trying to become full stack now. But earlier you used to connect Supabase separately. Bolt now just has Bolt database integrated with, which essentially in the backend is Supabase itself. So when you will see in code that there are Supabase IDs. In the env file there are Supabase keys. So that's how it's going to store my information. I type my password. There is a restriction here of like 6 characters. That is something that it just added by default. Now I log in and I see my dashboard. If you see, the dashboard is also not bluish anymore. It is matching the color scheme that I gave it, right? So let me just give you a quick example of what changes you can make and how you can make them. Now this, if you see an add new task, you can add a task title and can add the priority, but I also want to add task categories. So I will say in the add new task box or section, add a drop down list of task categories. For example, I'm not going to give it all categories just in interest of time. I'm just going to say medical, groceries, household, and children, etc. Okay, and I would just say add the tab between task title and priority tabs, right? Let's see what it gives us. And just to switch a little bit, let's see what's happening with our Pomodoro timer. Why does it say preview not supported? It says, that's interesting. I'm reloading the page to see what's happening. Do I need to publish it? Let's see what it says. I get the error preview not supported. I did not see that error when I built it for the first time, as I showed you the demo. If it doesn't work, then we'll just rely on this one. As you can see, there is a play button here. It starts running your timer. You can reset your timer. There's a break interface with like 5 minutes of break time. You can also start this, reset it. There is a, as what we wanted was to count the number of Pomodoros completed. We've done that. Like it'll add it when the 21st 25-minute break is over. Right, and let's see what's going on here. Okay, the real problem is that the tarball could not be extracted. Okay, it's rewriting the layout. Let's see what happens. Meanwhile, let's see what's happening in Bolt. This is doing its work as well. It's explaining you side by side what are the tasks that, and what are the components that it is building. You know, it's the dashboard page, the search page. Yes, what we are working on is our search page. By the way, this Bolt demo I've not tried before. I've not tried adding a component. I'm doing this ad hoc on this call, so hopefully it's going to work fine. Rewriting. Okay, it's still. So you have to have a bit of patience with these tools, right? They take a bit to do their work. Okay, see, I have a category tab here now. Work, medical, groceries, household, children, and others. So when I add a new task, let's just say drop kids to school at 6 a.m. I don't have kids, but I'm assuming this for the kids audience. It is high priority. You add a task, it gets added with priority. It's showing, you know, it's pending. You can mark it pending, you can mark it in progress, and when it's done, you can mark it done. And if you suppose want to search for a task, It is powered by natural language processing. If you say kids, it shows, and if you say search, um, failed. Okay, I don't know why. Now that's a bug. So we can see that there's a bug. Search for keywords, search using keywords failed. Let's see what happens here. Meanwhile, let's check out. Okay, great. Oh no, wait, we still haven't got our Pomodoro review. Fix front setup to correctly. Okay. Well, for some reason, I'm still not getting the display here. And that's okay. I am just going to. Well, it's fine. It happens. Essentially, it was the same prompt and the same tool that I built here, so I guess we can just stick with this output for now. AI tools can be unpredictable a couple of times. I'm not sure why it didn't work, but we are having some success with Bolt. So let's see what's happening with Bolt here. This is also another low-code tool and AI augmented tool. Okay, now let's see whether it fixes my search. I'll add a couple of other tasks. I'll just say complete my PhD assignment. This is, suppose, work, and it's high priority. And you add the task. If you say PhD, search failed again. Okay. Earlier, it thought that the search function is missing the category column as its return type, which caused the search to fail. Let's just say generate embeddings. It also failed to generate embeddings. So I still have the bug here. It fails to generate embeddings and search the perfect task. This happens and it's totally fine. This is why we have these prompts to fix the code. And let's just see if we are able to fix the bug. If I had like 2 hours or so, I could have shown you more. But meanwhile, let me show you what I did with Replit. Now, Replit is another code. Replit is another, I would say, low-code tool. Now, what Replit helps you with, as I mentioned in the call briefly a bit before, it gives you the option of a lot of tech stacks. You want to use HTML, CSS, JS, you want to use JavaScript, which Django framework, Flask framework, it's your choice, right? Now, I just tried something for fun, where I tried Turtle to enable users to create pictures and shapes for educational and creative use. I just simply said, I want to create an app, and that's what I did here. I just said, help me understand what are concentric circles. And it did give me a little bit of, and I said, I want to remix this package. Sorry, I went to Python Turtle, and I want to say, I want to remix this package, right? So right now I'm just keeping this app private, and I just say, help me understand what are concentric circles. And because this is a Python graphics library, it's also showing me here what are my usage limits, how many credits have I used for now. And there is also, let's see, it's doing its work here as well. Meanwhile, let's see if this bug is fixed. Okay, it's having a key mismatch. All its functions have been click generate embedding for. The good thing about these tools is that they explain what's going wrong and then you can fix it. Now let's see what we can do if it works. Sometimes you do have issues with using the right embedding functions, and that's normal. If I just say kids, I say generate. First, I need to generate embeddings. Okay, again, failed to generate embeddings. That's interesting. Oh, okay, it's the wrong key. So fine, I'll have to change Um, my key settings, as it was looking for one name, and I probably just gave it another name. So we have secrets. Now, this is where you can actually set your AI keys and the secrets that you have. It's a typo on my end where I have Open API key. I actually needed to store as OpenAI API key. Now, let me delete this key here, add another key, and let's see how it works, right? I'm going to again go back to secrets, add my secret key name. Do I have, um, let's just see what I can do with my keys. I have project key. I have the OpenAI key stored with me, luckily. Always save your keys somewhere secure. You can see this is a key here, and now I'll create the secret. Okay, now we have OpenAI API key. Now let's see if things work. And let's just confirm we have our secrets still added. Yes, we have. Let's just say generate embeddings. Now hopefully it'll not fail. Oh, failed again. Now this entire process, it consumes something called tokens, just FYI. So if you see the settings and in general, you can see your subscription and tokens. You can see I have 19.1 million tokens for now. They're expiring on this date. The tokens in bold get rolled over, which is a good thing. So, well, we can continue debugging this, and let's just see what what it has for us now in our console. So it did give this entire description of concentric circles, are circles that share the same center point but have different radii. Think of it like a bullseye or target. I've noticed a project, it'll update the file. This is what it did when I created it here as well. If I just run the project, it will show you concentric circles with turtle graphics. Right. I had also tried a Pythagorean theorem visualizer, which it also ran. So let's just see how's the output that it gives. Right. Okay. Here's it. Concentric circles are circles with common center. They share the exact same center point. They have different radii and they never intersect or touch each other. So you see, it has used its graphic libraries and it is showing me educationally what concentric circles are. Isn't that cool? And it's also explaining its process here, that I've drawn 5 colorful radiating rings, so on and so forth. That's fun, isn't it? Okay, now if I say, what have we covered? We have covered both, we have covered Replit, we have a little bit of bug fixing to do, right? And if we say generate embeddings, I'm hoping it works now. It still doesn't. Okay. This is gonna take time. So unfortunately, I will have to, but you've understood the idea of how a tool works, right? You can also generate subtasks with AI for every task. I don't have the OpenAI API key set up. Probably that's why it is showing an error here. But that's totally fine. You can have your OpenAI key in the place where I show my secrets. Check that it is specified correctly in the code here, right? Like I had added it, and we should be able to work from there. Let me try one more time. Otherwise, we can move on to our next tool in interest of time, right? Let's see. Okay, still not. Okay, this is gonna take longer. Sorry about that, guys. But you get the gist, right, of how we debug, and how we code with a low code AI tool. Now, next, I would like to actually take you to Opal, right? This is the app which I had mentioned. This is an app that I tried to build with Google Opal. I gave you a brief initially that you can build agents with Google Opal, right? So I just simply gave a prompt saying with the research topic that I want to build an app that researches any topic. Add the user for a research topic, search the web, and summarize the top 5 findings, right? And that is how we got this research brief console here, as you will see. And there was an error when I tried to build it for the first time. What was the error? I will show you through the app now. The error was that I was trying to build this app, which is actually essentially a functionality which I need web search for. I did not add this search web variable. How do we do this, right? Once you're creating an agent, you will see you have the option to preview how, let me reset this. You have the option to preview how things look. You have the option to see your console, your 3 nodes, test each node if you would like, have the steps. Now, each node you can set a prompt, right? If you see, one is the research topic, research web, and then generate research brief. I added the search web functionality here, which I had not added initially, because of which we got an error, right? And now you can also change the theme of how you want your application to look. This is the default theme that it gave me. I'm sticking to it. So this is the research brief, right? Let me just say start. And I say, show me, or I will just say, give me the top 5 developments in AI for AI in the Anthropic, Claude, or I'll just say in the Anthropic world, right? Also, suggest subtopics I can research about. Now, it's doing its thinking. If you see there's action happening, you'll see some waves running through. It looks pretty fascinating, actually, while it's processing. It's thinking right now. You can see that the web research is completed by 40%, 45%. This is a very basic agent here. This is not in, I would not say this is a step-by-step agent. It is not agentic AI. Agentic AI is much more automated with a lot more detailed reasoning within steps. So there's a lot of terminology floating around. So just want to make sure you understand a little bit about it, right? So we have this result here, which says AI landscape, Anthropic's cutting edge insights into latest developments shaping Anthropic's AI ecosystem, right? Now, Claude 4 model family, funding valuation for IPO, it has showed the top 5 ones, and the subtopics that you would like to research is ethical complications, specific industries. So this is a very small example of how it has just generated this research brief, because this was a prompt to renderize the summarized research findings in a static HTML language, right? And it has referred to the summarized findings and the research topic node. Research web has its own small prompt, which I have added on the basis of which it's functioning. So all these nodes have basically system prompts, right? This is how it works. Now, next, I will show you LangChain a little bit, which is another LangChain or Langsmith. This is a LinkedIn profile finder that I had built. My prompt for this essentially was that help me build a LinkedIn profile finder, which allows me to extract profiles for the people that I want to meet up with or I want to connect with. If, as you can see, there's a toolbox here which shows XR LinkedIn search. XR LinkedIn search is the, you can say, the MCP server kind of that you use, the MCP library that you can use to connect with the LinkedIn APIs. Okay. And that's now, actually, I had tried to build, I would say, let me go to, yeah. Okay. Actually, I had tried to build something which will help me post automatically, but there was no plugin for that at that point. So I just stuck with like extracting the posts that I want, or extracting the profiles that I want, right? So now you can just say, if I just say, help me extract profiles of fellow technical program managers with 20 years of experience residing in the USA, Redmond, Washington, right? Send me top 5 profiles to my email. Now, as a warning, the Google Sheet spreadsheet feature still needs some work, but I do have my Gmail working. And as you can see here, I have sub-agents to filter and rank profiles. Now, in my prompt, I had said something related to, UAE profiles. Now, this is where the magic happens. I have specifically mentioned in system prompts for UAE profiles, right? If you see this agent, I have a full-fledged prompt here, which says the kind of input to expect, the output format, etc., right? Now, what happens is because I said Redmond, Washington, it is telling me I noticed you asked for USA-based profiles, but your strategic goal is focused on UAE opportunities because that's the tool that I had made essentially was to find people from the UAE. This is the beauty of having sub agents and having system prompts specified because those give you an opportunity to put restrictions and specify criteria of what's the output that you exactly want. So I'm just going to change my prompt and say, okay, fine. You're right. So I wanted residing in the UAE, right? Otherwise, you'll have to change your location to Redmond, Washington. For that, you'll have to change a lot of prompts. You can do that on your own time when you try to have toolbox sub agents and build your own profile finder in any capacity, right? Now let's see what action happens here and what are the results that I get. I'll be waiting for something to come into my email, something similar, which I had received, like the results that I had actually gotten when I tried it, as you see, a couple of weeks ago. I am expecting a similar result. And while this result is something we're waiting for, I would meanwhile introduce you to my section of favorite AI tools, which is called Video, Audio, and Filmmaking. It's very exciting that AI has been democratized to the extent that you can actually build movies and films on your own. And if you have great editing skills, you have great imagination, it's just a prompt away, right? I'll give you an example of what I did here. I basically built a small little app like this on Adobe Firefly, where I gave a prompt which said, I want a futuristic server room with glowing blue servers. I work in technical infrastructure at Azure. So out of habit, I just gave this prompt saying, I want a futuristic server room with glowing blue servers, slow camera dolly movement, cinematic lighting, 4K quality, and professional profile. Now, why did I have to mention even the camera movements, etc.? Because otherwise, it's just going to do things on its own. It's going to have a still shot, or it might have a shaky shot, or whatever it would like. But I have specifically mentioned here slow camera dolly movement. So it's going to go through the entire path and shoot it like an actual camera would shoot, as if an actual person is walking through this. If you see the dolly movement that's happening there? That's the magic of audio and filmmaking tools. You can set the model that you want. There are a bunch of models present today. There is Sora, there is Ray, there is Pika, there is Nano Banana, there's Firefly Adobe has its own Firefly video. You can set the frames per second, the duration you want. You can even specify which is the first and the last frame that you prefer. You can upload some images, some reference images that you would like. In one of my films, I had put in this reference image, which I had created using Copilot, and I said I wanted like a water-themed dance sequence, right? And this is generated. All I had done was added this image of this lady and put in the prompt saying that you can also generate the prompt. That's what the section is. You can also generate the prompt with Copilot, say that you want a specific dance sequence. And what's the kind of dance sequence you want, and it'll generate the frames for you, and this is the sequence this is the prompt that you enter in Adobe Firefly, and you get this sequence. Isn't that amazing? And it's so beautifully made, and she's dancing so beautifully, so mission accomplished. Right, now let's go back to our LangChain and see what's happening. Okay, so it did its work. You can see it is also explaining me the reasoning. The one thing I love about all these tools is it explains the reasoning, right? It has explained the reasoning that how the agent is working. It has also sent me a successful email. It has sent me the top 3 profiles that I wanted. Let's see, did I get the email? I think I would have. So if I see my new email, I did I've completed your LinkedIn search for 20 years of experience residing in UAE, and here are the top 5 profiles. And this is the email you can see that was sent a minute ago. So we have a working agent here, right? With specified sub-agent categories. Yay! Okay, now the next topic I would like to, now this is, we have covered no code tools, we have covered audio filmmaking tools, I've shown you a couple of agents, right? Now I showed you Langsmith already, so that's great. Now, one last fun part that I'm going to show you is voice agents. How would you feel talking to AI? Isn't that fascinating, right? So let's just see what can we do and the magic that we can do with voice agents. Now, we have there's one voice agent which I will show you, which I had learned as a part of one of my classes, one of my fellowship classes that I was taking. So this is not my prompt, I got this prompt from there, but I couldn't get it to work at that time when we were building this little talk to me heart to heart app to schedule mental therapies is what we want to build. So I got it working just yesterday for you guys for this demo. The issue was that I was not able to add calendar appointments or create calendar events or schedule calendar appointments because I wasn't able to find the appropriate tools to do so. I'll explain what I mean. Now, whenever you're building a voice agent, what happens is that you create an assistant, you specify all your expectations. Just like an agent, we specify the restrictions and gave system prompts and we showed what we expect. We do this even for the voice agent. Okay, if you can see in my class, I got this whole system prompt here, right? The system prompt was given by my guide. I put it in here. What we need is that style of what should be the style of the agent, what should be the response in the guideline, what should be the task and the goals, error handling, and fallback. Do's and don'ts, rules to never break. You have this file here basically, which is a heart to heart AI. I'll just show you. It's like a knowledge base, the knowledge base that tells you, for example, you have what's the kind of appointment that you want. You want a 15-minute appointment, you want a 30-minute appointment. So it's a knowledge base. It's like a RAG, right? You want to retrieve some information while this agent is functioning, and this document is a guideline for that, right? So you can do it on your end as well. You can configure the voice. 11 Labs is a very popular audio application. This is a default voice that I have here. There is Sarah, who's mature, reassuring, and confident, right? And I specify other criteria, like I have selected structure outputs that I want appointments canceled to be recorded, appointments booked to be recorded, success evaluation, call summary to be recorded. You will see that I have call logs here. You will see that I have call logs from talk to me. This is I didn't enable recording, so it doesn't have a recording, but you can check call logs here, right? If you want to enable it. And there's option for chat logs also. There's option for structured outputs. Now, in structured outputs, I have mentioned I wanted the call summary for talk to me, for leadership quotes, right? I wanted the success eval. So this all I had specified when I was building the agent, the assistant. Now going back to the assistant, let me just call the assistant and quickly, oh, before that, let me show you the tools. So the thing that I got working yesterday was the tools. I was unable to add in this tools section, I was unable to find the Google Calendar tool and Google Calendar check availability tool before. But I could search the tool here from Google Calendar. Eventually it showed up. For some reason, it was not showing up in my version of WAPI before, but it showed up. So I added this. You have the tool name here. You refer to the tool names in your assistants as well, right? When you have this talk to me assistant, you can see in the prompt itself, it is saying in tasks and goals, use the Google Calendar check availability tool to check time slots. And then the second tool, which is to add that event or create that event, you do that with Google Calendar tool, which we have referred to in our tools here for this talk to me assistant. right? Now, talk to me. Let's just say you want to talk to assistant. Let's just call it. Hi, I'm Yoshita Sharma. I am calling in to fix an appointment for some to discuss some issues that I'm facing at my job. Yes, my country is the United States. City is Redmond, Washington. And please correct the spellings of my name. They are Yoshita. Yes, I would like to meet on February 13th, 2026. Now, what it's doing here is it is checking the availability in my Google Calendar. Now, what I had done in my calendar was actually for February 13th, when I was working on this agent, I had actually created an appointment to discuss job issues already. So it should not be showing me the 12 to 1 p.m. time slot as something that's available. So let's just say, see what she says, right? Otherwise, this is something that this voice agent created yesterday in my demo. So I'm showing you an example. Let's see. No, I would like to choose another time slot. We would just like to do it at 11 a.m. Yes, my email ID is, that's correct. Yes, please do. Okay, thank you, Sarah. You too, thank you. Isn't that great? Now, this agent can be called through your phone as well because there's a phone number assigned to this agent. Heart to heart, talk to me. Right. Similarly, I had made an agent for just to give a fun leadership quote, and this is my last demo for today. I would just call on this phone number that you see here, 843-648. um, 3422, and let's just see what happens here. I'm calling them.
How's it going?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. It's always a good day when I get to connect with someone like you. Before we dive in, may I have your name?
Yes, I'm Yoshita Sharma.
Wonderful. And Yoshita Sharma, what a beautiful name. It's truly a pleasure to meet you. Here's a quote I think you'll love from Brene Brown. Vulnerability is not winning or losing. It's having the courage to show up when you can't control the outcome. This is so powerful for our leaders today because real leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about showing up with authenticity, even when things feel uncertain. When you lead with courage and heart, you inspire others to do the same. Keep showing up, Yoshita. The world needs your voice, your strength, and your light. I'll go ahead and email you this quote as well, so you can keep it close. Keep leading boldly.
Thank you.
You're so welcome, Yoshita. Keep shining and leading with heart. You're making a difference more than you know. And remember, courage is contagious. You got this. I'll send that quote to your email now. Have a truly inspiring day.
Thank you. Wow, I'm motivated for I think the rest of the year now. So this is my last demo for today. I know I've shown you short snippets of a lot of different tools. I would encourage you to explore a lot of these. It's like really fun to do so. I'm also doing hidden trial at times. For example, sometimes your demo won't you will have to debug stuff, so you have to go into the code, you'll have to tell the AI prompt, you might have to use other tools like Claude to reason. For example, for things that happen in my Bolt app, I'll have to figure out why my OpenAI key is not working, and these things happen and it's normal. But we had some successful agent builds, and we had Adobe Firefly demos and like video filmmaking tools, no code, low code, little agentic tools. And I hope you enjoyed the session for today. So start building something useful, and just have fun, and document stuff. Just keep in mind that using AI for this or having low code doesn't mean that you're not a real developer. Yes, there is that you may have a little, but I think if you all are tech students, you can definitely leverage that experience like I'm able to actually go in and debug the code at times. But it's good to have AI help you do that, and then you can learn from there on. You can visit the code, you can see how the libraries are organized, you can see how the tech stack is organized, and you can start learning from there. And there is no perfect tool for anything. Every tool is just coming up with something new every other day. So I get overwhelmed every single day. As I said, I blink my eye and there's a new tool. But don't worry too much about it, right? And just pick one tool and just start doing things. Okay, and let's build something amazing. And you can connect with me on LinkedIn. And thank you so much for being with me here today, and I hope you guys enjoyed the session.
Thank you so much, Ms. Yoshita, for sharing your insights and experiences with us today. And on behalf of Level Up, we sincerely appreciate your time as well as contribution. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We hope you found this session valuable. And that brings us to the end of today's seminar. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.